Hello, this is Bella. I'm good. How are you, Christine? Right now, it's a great time. Sounds great. Thank you. Correct. Yes. Yes, that's correct, ma'am. I am not. Yeah, eventually I want to go to law school after I finish my undergrad, and I want to go into entertainment law or corporate law, and eventually, hopefully, work for the Disney company in some way in that field. hmm hmm Me too. Yeah, it's a long road ahead of me. Mhm. I am familiar with the guidelines, yes. I do not. All I have is the typical earlobe piercing, the singular earlobe piercing. I do not have a valid U.S. driver's license. I have, yes, I have looked over them. Yes. Yes, I am. Yeah, so I have lived with a roommate my entire life, but coming to college obviously is a little different because it's most likely a stranger, and mine was. So I had a roommate both last year and this year, and I had suite mates also. So there was four of us sharing a bathroom, and I actually had a lovely experience this summer. I had the opportunity to live alone in my own room for the first time since I was little, and I was actually so sad about it. And at the end of the summer, I was like, God, I can't wait to have a roommate again. So I love having roommates. Yeah. Mhm. Yes. Yeah. 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 Yeah, so our biggest disagreement that we had was actually with the bathroom last year. None of us really wanted to clean it, so eventually we sat down and we were like, we have to do this. Like, it's we have to do it. It's not an option at this point. So we sat down and we just talked out like schedule wise and how we wanted to do it, and like how every person had to like take a fair share. And even like with sleeping schedules, we'd always just like kind of give everyone our class schedule so that way they know when we're like in the room and when we're not in the room. So just communication and like talking with them and just going over everything and like our personal lives, just so that way they're aware of like what we're up to and how that's working out. Yes. Yeah, to manage that, I would just make sure we sit down and talk at the very beginning of our program and just kind of say, like, we're in this, we're all working towards the same goal. We all love Disney and we're all just there to, like, make magic and have a good time. So I think having those common interests would really help, as well as just being aware of each other's personal space and our personal time and how we want to handle that. Mhm. Why Disney? Well, me and my family have always gone to the Disney parks, and it really has been a foundation as a bond in our family, and it really brings us together whenever we're there. And so, part of the reason it does that is like the cast members make it so absolutely magical. And I remember being like 10 years old and talking to a cast member who went to Michigan State, and her telling me about the college program, being like, yeah, like I love doing this. And it's always been something that's been interesting to me to be able to create those memories for different families and create that bond that me and my family feel at Disney. Yeah, so this summer I actually worked as an orientation leader, and it really, really helped me with public speaking. I had to memorize about like an hour's worth of monologues to like regarding safety and just facts about the university. And along with that, so that really helped me like get comfortable with interacting with new people and strangers and being in a environment that required me to talk all the time and use leadership skills. So that's really what I'm looking forward to, and how that could help me with like my career in the future, as well as with the company, is just being able to handle people and make quick connections. Yeah, so my top role right now is attractions. And like I said, I memorized a whole bunch of monologues, and I really started this summer to have a love for safety and what that means, and being in a position of like such authority. This summer really made me realize how, like, not necessarily life and death, but how urgent every situation can become. And so I think I really gained a lot of experience this summer, and that would be very helpful with attractions, as well as I've handled food in the past, and I've handled money at my job at the Wharton Center, which is the professional touring company in mid Michigan. So I'm very used to like handling food and money for like if I were to work for merchandise, as well as I've taken pictures for like families, which would really help me with PhotoPass. Yeah. Yes, I'm very used to this like situation because I am barely 5 foot myself. So for a really long time, it was hard for me to get onto rides. So I think the best way to handle that is to make sure you let the parents know that like it is for safety reasons, and that is why the child isn't allowed to ride, or a person of not the height requirement is not allowed to ride. But then I would also make sure I make get them excited about what else is available around the park. Like if I was working at Rock and Roller Coaster and they weren't tall enough, I'd make sure to mention Star Tours and Tower of Terror and the Beauty and the Beast show and everything else that's going on around, and get them excited about those attractions. And if I had the option, like maybe give them a sticker or a fast pass or something along those lines to make sure that their experience is special despite the fact that they can't get on to the ride that they originally planned on going on. Mm-hmm. Yes, so at the Wharton Center, it was basically snacks. So it wasn't a ton of food preparation that I would have to do, but I like packaged some peanuts, packaged like little chunks of like chocolate pretzels, and then I would set them out and make them look pretty and take the money for those snacks if they came. It did got really busy during intermission for sure, but it was definitely a super fun experience. As well as I worked in a restaurant and I was a hostess. And when it got really busy on the floor, but nobody else was coming in, they would sometimes have me run back and help run food and help present food to the tables and just take them out. And so I've had experience handling food, yes. Oh, yes, I'm completely comfortable working in all weather conditions. This summer, part of my job was like a 3 hour tour, and that was 80 plus degree or 90 plus degrees most of the time with humidity, and then sometimes it would rain, and just handling not only myself but students. Like, I've really learned to adapt to weather conditions quite quickly. So, yeah, working. My favorite thing about a work environment is usually meeting new people as well as my coworkers. I love getting to know my coworkers so much. I've made some of my best friends from work. I just think coworkers know you not better than everyone else, but definitely a different side of you than everyone else, as well as just like talking to new people and getting to know people as quickly as possible, but like still make a personal connection. I learned a lot about how to do that this summer because students would only come for a day, maybe a day and a half, and I would try to create a like really strong connection with them to get them excited about like being at a new place and being like in their new home. So yeah, just getting excited to meet new people as well as working with my coworkers is always what makes me excited to go to work. Yes, actually, I had during the summer. I was talking with one of my coworkers, and he actually started a rumor about me and my friends. And I thought the best way to handle that was speaking with him as well as our like boss, and just trying to like feel why he was feeling that he wasn't included, and just trying to make sure that we mend our best relationship, because at the end of the day we are working together and we're trying to accomplish the same goal. And so I just wanted to make sure he was comfortable, and if anything that I had done affected his impression of me, that I would try to fix that and attempt to fix that. So that was a big challenge of the summer, especially we lived together. So that was definitely a new, interesting way to handle like a coworker situation. The outcome, we ended up actually being decent friends. I still talk to him to this day. It was definitely a little disheartening at first, and for a couple weeks we were not on the best of terms, but I still make sure like he's doing good and his classes are going well as he does with me, and we keep in contact still. Yeah. Yeah, so actually we worked orientation or international orientation as well. So I've dealt with international students who don't speak English very well, barely any of them, or any English sometimes. And I was enrolling in a student, and I thought the best way was just to like slowly try to communicate via pictures, and just if someone came up to me and needed to know where something was and doesn't speak English, I would have them take up out a map or show them on their phones of where to go and kind of use motions and pictures to help best describe what they need and help assist them as best as I can. They do, yes. Yeah, in the bar they do. Yeah, it's a small chain. We're slowly going out of business, but I know it's like started as a Canadian chain, so there's not many. So I think it's like northern-ish states, like more northern states have them. Yeah, it's delicious. Yes. Yeah, yeah, it was. Yeah, so the receptionist position was basically a call center, and I was working towards like getting people to come in and interview to sell Cutco. So yeah, it wasn't my absolute favorite job. I was only there for a summer, and not just because it was a summer position, but it was my first job, so it was very interesting, and I didn't really realize what I was getting myself into. But yeah, the most challenging thing for me about that job is that my manager would be like, "Oh, Bella, you have to like get these people to come in," and I'd be like, "They really don't want to," and they're like, "You have to call them at least 3 times," and I'm like, "This lady's at a picnic with her family. I don't want to interrupt her like family time or like their time away when they obviously have already stated they're not interested in the position." So trying to like enact things that my manager and like was required of me that I really did not believe in, and just bothering um, like customers was not necessarily something that was for me. I would rather like just try to promote like happiness instead of kind of pulling them into this pyramid type scheme type thing. Mhm. Yes. I am on the fence. It is on a Wednesday, and I technically have class, so I'm not entirely sure if I will be going yet. It's kind of, I might have a midterm that day. The professor hasn't really said anything, so it's whether the midterm happens or not. If, it depends on I'm going. Yes, yes, I do. All right, great. Great, thank you. Hmm. Yes, I am. Okay. 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 Alrighty. Yeah, I actually do. I have a couple. What do you think is the best like seminar that's offered for college program participants, or one of the best, or a couple? Mhm. 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 Already great, great, and no, it's fine. I mean, if it's true, it's true. You can't argue with that. And then, last question: what do you think is the best part of like working for a Disney company, especially as a recruiter? Hmm. Uh huh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hmm. Hmm. You said Mario's. Yeah. Mm, I love that. Thank you so much for your time. It's been great talking to you. Love that. Hmm. You too. Thank you, Christine. Bye. Have a good day.